Hello and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 35 team selection video with me, Holly Shand. I've got a big green arrow at the moment and ready to attack the final 4 game weeks of the season, in which we've got a double game week coming up for Chelsea and Spurs. Help me get this video up to 500 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off then with how my free hit in game week 34 is going. I'm recording this video on Monday. We're at the halfway stage through the game week. I've had 11 players play. I've still got an 11 players to play. 59 points is 31 points above the average, a game week rank of 300k. So I've got to be pleased with that. I do feel a little bit disappointed with some of these returns though. Pickford in goal did well with 8 points. I'm glad I went with him. It was a 50-50 between him and Henderson. So that's worked out well so far. Mitchell, though, he just about managed to get away with not having negative points. He was initially given an own goal, but then it was registered to Henderson. So that was good. But no Liverpool clean sheet for Van Dijk. I bottled going with Trent because I couldn't see him starting both games. That is a decision that I'm potentially regretting at the moment, as well as not going with double Arsenal defence because obviously they kept the clean sheet against Wolves. And I decided to go Havertz over Odegaard, which didn't work out either. Salah was benched for Liverpool, my captain, but most people had Salah and captained him, so I can't complain too much about that one. Eze and Mateta, really impressed. Wishing I'd gone with Elise as well because they were all in the points. Well done anyone that went with Eze captain. And Solanke got another goal. He's up to 18 goals now. I've got Mikolenko on my bench with a clean sheet, but all these players are still to play. So if I look at the players that are delivered already and the potential, I've gone up, I think, around 130k places in an overall rank as things stand. If I can do that again in the second half of the games, then that would be amazing. But obviously I've got no Haaland, who wasn't in the squad for Man City in the FA Cup, so we don't know whether he'll feature or not. I've got no Palmer either. They're the sorts of players that can punish me. No Foden, no Isaac, Son. So I kind of need, obviously Spurs do blank, so that's fine. But all of those highly owned players that I don't own, I need those to blank to really continue to gain that advantage. I got away with no Watkins, who got a couple of assists for a 9-pointer. So I'm feeling good. I needed a good week on the free hit. I've still got the triple captain to go as well. Transfer plans then, and I've only got the one free transfer, having played the free hit last week. Nothing in the bank, but I have been using my transfers building up to game week 34 to build a strong squad for the doubles in game week 35 and game week 37. Remember, Chelsea and Spurs double this week, and then in 2 weeks' time, double game week 37. We've got 6 sides that double. And you look at the players that I've got in there already for those doubles. I've got Gusto, Foden. They're 2 players that I brought in game week 33. I've got Palmer and I've got Son. And I've got Haaland. So not in too bad a shape at the moment. The focus this week has to be on Chelsea and Spurs players. But I'm not that hot on Spurs players because they're kind of struggling defensively. And you look at the fixtures they've still got to play. They've got Arsenal and Chelsea in double game week 35. Then Liverpool in 36. Burnley and City in 37 before Sheffield United in game week 38. I don't really want to bring in a defensive asset. And I've got Son. I could go Maddison, but he's not in form. So I think I'm probably just going to roll with Son for the time being. I think the focus has to be on Chelsea, who are in better form and have the better fixtures as well. Chelsea are unbeaten in their last Chelsea are unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League games at the time of recording. They've still got to play this midweek against Arsenal, and then it's Aston Villa away and Spurs at home in the double, which I don't think is too bad. I've got Gusto and Palmer already. The player that I'd like to add into the squad is Nicholas Jackson, but I can't bring him in until after the Arsenal game because if he picks up a yellow card in that one, then he'd be banned for all of double game week 35. So it's a move I'm being patient with. Remember, we've still got a number of fixtures this midweek, so I wouldn't make transfers if you can until those fixtures have been and gone. 6 fixtures, 12 teams in action for the midweek of double game week 34. Now, to bring in Jackson, I need to sell one of Solanke and Darwin. Now, Darwin was benched obviously against Fulham, which is a concern. Solanke on 18 goals, still in the Golden Boot race. I know Bournemouth are a side that are on the beach, but I feel like I'd still like to own Solanke, and this week a great fixture home to Brighton. So he's probably going to survive at least 1 week. So I am looking at Darwin out, Jackson in. But if that doesn't come off, if Jackson picks up that 10th yellow card, then I will have to have a little bit of a rethink on where I go with transfers. I could obviously go with the Chelsea goalkeeper Petrovic. Could bring him in for either Kaminsky or Flecken. Probably Flecken, who, you know, I feel like Brentford are potentially a team that are looking like they could be safe now. I know they're mathematically not so just yet, but yeah, they're a side that I could potentially look to sell on and bring in Petrovic, but I prefer the move for Jackson, which feels like you're attacking the double ahead of you if you can. Team selection time then. This side has got a team rating of 96% over on Fantasy Football Hub, 86 predicted points. You can get that information for your side with a 7-day free trial using the link in the description to this video. So a decision to make in goal, whether to play Flecken away at Everton or Kaminsky away at Wolves. Quite a difficult decision, both away games. Everton have a lot more to play for. However, Flecken is the player that's got a little bit more form. So I am tempted to start Flecken over Kaminsky, who is really struggling for clean sheets. I feel like Flecken's got a higher ceiling, whereas Kaminsky hasn't kept a clean sheet on the road this season. Again, problems in defence of who to start, who to bench. Gusto obviously going to play for the double game week. And I think Gabriel in current form, even though Spurs away is a difficult one on paper, the North London derby, it's a game that Arsenal must win. So I think I will play Gabriel. And then it's between Reguilon, Doughty and Branthwaite for who gets that final spot. Branthwaite didn't feature for Everton in the first game of their double game week. Doughty's got the assist threat, but Reguilon has been the one that's in form at the moment. He's got 3 assists in his last 3 games since the international break, taking him up to 6 for the season. So I'm tempted to give him the nod. It does mean doubling up on the Brentford defence away at Everton, but needs must in this case with Branthwaite and Doughty on my bench. Moving into the midfield, I think the front 7 are a lot easier to select. I'm excited to see what Cole Palmer can do across the double game week. I've also got Son for the double. Salah keeps his place at the moment for West Ham away. Hopefully now he's had his rest, he is going to get a few more starts. He is a player that we need to come back into form, but he's a player that's rarely out of form. I know he's come back from a significant injury and not one that he's really been out. He's not used to being out for that long, but I do feel like his underlying numbers show that Hall isn't too far away. And Foden, who hasn't featured since coming back into my side, Forest away, I think that's a great fixture for him. It is going to be a double up on the City defence with Erling Haaland. Fingers crossed he's fit. On my bench, I've got Barkley away at Wolves as first sub if he's needed. Solanke, can he add to his 18 goals? Brighton at home, a nice fixture for him. And then we've got Jackson, the new recruit. Fingers crossed he avoids that yellow card so that I can bring him in for his double game week. That will take me up to 5 doublers, the maximum 3 from Chelsea and 1 from Spurs with Son. Now, when it comes to captaincy, there are really only 2 contenders that I'm really considering this week. The 2 in midfield, we've got Son and we've got Palmer, both the talisman of their sides, both on penalties. I do feel like Palmer's got the easier fixtures and he's the one that's got the better form. You look at his performances in the Premier League and he's got 5 double-digit hauls in the last 8 game weeks. Granted, most of his hauls do come at home and he has got 1 away game, but I do feel like there's quite a high ceiling for Palmer. My only concern is that we did see him strapped quite heavily in the FA Cup, so if there are concerns about his fitness and indeed his minutes, then I might be tempted to look at Son instead, but Palmer's front and centre in the Golden Boot race, so I think he's going to be hungry to perform as much as he can. So it is going to be Palmer captain, Son vice-captain, but that is subject to change. Make sure you're getting your dilemmas for FPL Double Game Week 35 in the comments then. I will be doing an extra video this week because the experts team, which is ranked top 10k, is playing the wild card. So make sure you've liked this one and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that coming later this week. Thank you for watching.